Hello, and welcome to the October 2022 Folklore and Fiction podcast. My name is Kelly MacCath-Moran. I'm a PhD candidate in the Folklore department at Memorial University of Newfoundland, and I'm also a writer, poet, and musician under the pseudonym C.S. MacCath. The Folklore and Fiction podcast and Dispatch synthesize these passions with a focus on folklore scholarship aimed at storytellers. You'll find the Folklore and Fiction archive along with the rest of my work online at folkloreandfiction.com. Interested listeners will find a link to the current dispatch in the show notes, where a more comprehensive record of this episode can be found, including a bibliography and other references. This month, I'm delighted to bring you the work of guest poet and actor Math Jones. Math was born in London, but lived in Worcester for many years and is now based in Oxford. A pagan in the Old English and Norse tradition, he often writes poetry on the stories and in the meters of that tradition. He also writes more usual verses, performing throughout the Midlands and London. A bookseller for many years, he retrained in 2008 to be an actor and has been acting professionally since then as Math Sams. He's understudied a major role in a West End show. Math's 2017 poetry album Eagle Spit is available on Bandcamp. His 2018 poetry book Sabrina Bridge is available through Black Pear Press, and his 2019 poetry book The Knotsman is available through Arachne Press. He can also be found on YouTube. Most recently, Math has completed a poetic retelling of Gylfaginning, the second section of Snorri Sturluson's Prose Edda, which details the mythology of the Northern Germanic peoples. An excerpt of this epic poem appears in the Dispatch, and he reads this excerpt in the podcast. He's also agreed to discuss his creative process, which he's both written and recorded for us, so we'll be sharing space this month. Math's poetry will appear next in the Dispatch and podcast, followed by my brief folkloristic analysis of Gylfaginning. Then Math will take the baton again with a discussion of creative process, and I'll close with an introduction to Old English poetics for poets. Let's get started.
Who are the goddesses? Gangleri asked. First of them all is Free Beloved, lives in the Fen Hall, Fensalir, fabulous place. Second is Saya, Saga, Sunken Bank, Sokfabek, is her home, huge enough. Third is Helper, Air, healing her skill. Doctor and physician undoubtedly the best. The fourth is Giving, Gefjan, fends for herself, welcomes the free women when they die. The fifth is Full, free-haired, gold-banded, carries for beloved her casket of ashwood, looking after her shoes, sharing in her secrets. Lady Freya is in all ways equal to beloved. Ecstasy, Odd, is her darling, and their daughters treasure, so that precious things cared about are called treasures too. Ecstasy was often impossible to find, went away on journeys. Weeping lady drops tears of amber as she travels after, gaining other names, giver, Geffen, flax, horn, sow is another, sea ablaze, Mardo, famous for her necklace of the flaming kin, this one, well known, the woman of the Vanir.
This episode of the Folklore and Fiction podcast is a preview, and you can listen to the full episode on the Folklore and Fiction website. Just click on the dispatch link in the show notes or go to folkloreandfiction.com and sign up for a free account. Thanks very much for your interest. Copyright 2019 to 2023. Kelly S. MacCath-Moran. All rights reserved unless Creative Commons licensing is specifically applied.